Joshua Ford, and I'm here to answer the question, is America going to be alright? So, alright to me is you're getting by, it could be better, but all in all, you're content, fine with what's going on, and in that aspect, I believe America is going to be alright, but it won't be as good as we want it to be. We can always strive for more, we can always be better in this aspect, we can always have this, we can always have that. So, in the end, we're not going to be really always happy with where we are, but we'll be content with it. So, to start my argument, I'm going to talk about Requiem for the American Dream by Noam Chomsky. So, I'm going to start off not with the remembrance of the American dream, but more of one of the 10 principles of the concentration, wealth, and power Noam Chomsky talks about. This one being the 10th one, marginalizing the public. So, he talks about it in an economical standpoint with rich versus poor, the growing gap between the two. I'm looking at it more on a political standpoint, the separation of Democratic and Republican, the Republican parties, the two parties. Um, I believe a lot of Americans in voting compromise on what they believe in. So that's why I believe Donald Trump became president last year was not because a lot of people really supported him. It was more of they were willing to compromise some of the things just so Hillary wouldn't be president. Donald Trump was a conservative. He had more conservative viewpoints, wasn't a Democrat, so more people were willing to support him just so Hillary wouldn't be president because she was a Democrat. They didn't support her political viewpoints, etc., etc. So with that, I see in politics not a lot gets done due to the marginalization of the two parties. It can even when progress is made, like we can see with some of the stuff with Donald Trump and Obama, when one president makes some sort of leeway in their political views and their agenda, the next one's probably just going to bring it right back to where we were. So in the end, even if Donald Trump does stuff, maybe in 4, 8 years, the next president's a Democrat, we'll just reverse what he did and we'll be right back to where we were. So if nothing's really getting done, how are we going to be getting better? So we have to look at possible changes in government and just working together to compromise as a whole instead of just compromising on ourselves. So going off of this, I am going to say a line from a Papa Roach song, American Dreams, that will lead into my next topic, which is the change of the American dream and what it is. So, this is from the song American Dreams by Papa Roach. American dreams, American lies, we're trying to see through the smoke in our eyes, so give me the truth, don't tell me your lies. So, going off of that, we can't really it's the smoke in our eyes is talking about how the government is hiding stuff from us or just trying to avert our gaze from some of the problems so that we can still see if there's an American dream, or they're trying to avert our eyes from the American dream because in the end it doesn't really exist. I believe it's more of the dream changing, and we're not exactly sure what it is. With the previous generation's American Dream, it was a little bit more concrete, and they knew what they wanted. It was, the white picket fence house, the car, the 2.5 kids, the wife, etc., etc. It was more concrete and firm. They knew what they wanted, and they knew what they had to do to get it. So it was more in their grasp. It was obtainable. Now with my generation, I believe the American dream is changing. That's not so much a problem, it's just we're not exactly sure what it is or what we're striving for. So our generation is sometimes called the selfie generation, which I do have to agree with. Not in the sense that we're obsessed with selfies, we're more of obsessed with ourselves. We focus on ourselves. It's more about what can I do to better myself, but not the people around me, and separate myself from the people around me. And going off of this, this is where I think the American dream is coming from. It's not so more focused on unlike the past American dream, that's focused on a family and bettering the family and what you can do for the people around you. It's more focused on yourself. So what can I do to better myself? Which isn't always bad, but I feel like we need a good balance of the two. So the selfie generation's American dream is always being satisfied with themselves. And I think that's also another problem is the past generation was okay with not being satisfied all the time because they knew it got better, but this generation is constantly wanting to be updated, satisfied with everything they do. It's never enough. That's why I think with this current generation that's going into the political scene, going to start being the next America, it's not going to be all right because they can always strive for more. They're going to want to be constantly satisfied with what's going on in the world politically. So unlike maybe 20, 30 years ago where, oh, well, this president's not really doing this, but I know that eventually it'll get better. No, we don't want to wait, we want it now. That's why with President Trump being in there, we're not happy with him being in there now, so we're not going to be happy about it at all no matter what happens. We just want something to change, but since it can't change as fast as we want it to, we're going to be upset about it. So, was this all avoidable? The whole Black Lives Matter, which is the big focus on the book we just read, They Can't Kill Us All. Yes and no. This was avoidable. This wasn't avoidable. So no argument. If no, it was not avoidable. Arguments and opposing viewpoints are going to happen. Nobody's ever going to see eye to eye. There's always going to be arguments and stuff. There's always going to be a Republican that doesn't agree with the Democrat, etc., etc. It's everybody has different viewpoints. It's not avoidable, but I believe some aspects of it could have been avoided. Yes, we could have seen the signs and done something, and in this, the signs I'm talking about is now people are saying that this is the whole police brutality has been going on for a while, which I can see in this part of a song by Queensryche, Empire, from the 1990s. Goes, black man trapped again, holds his chains in his hand, brother killing brother for the profit of another, game point, nobody wins. 1990s, 27 years ago, this has been going on, but with the whole introduction of phones, it's more of come to light, so now it's a big deal, but with the whole marginalizing in the political views and all that, it's a much harder problem to take on now, unlike 27-ish years, 27, 30 years ago. Back then, with a more focused public and less marginalization, I feel like this would have been a lot easier to take on, and by now something would have been done. But since it's happening right now and in a very heated time in America politically, I'm not exactly sure if it'll change anytime soon. And then also there's also a lot of disagreement with both the public and the government coming from a 30 Seconds to Mars song. It's lyrics go, can you see what you're fighting for? Is just part of it. we're not really exactly sure what we are fighting for. A lot of people don't really agree with what America's doing, so and they don't know what they're going to do. So do they really know what they are fighting for? Not just soldiers, but the American people, like working hard for what they want. Do they really know what it's going to get to in the end? And then just total distrust for the government. Pol- Politician X says Y, but then Z happens. You're not exactly sure how to take that. So, is it too late? No, I do not think it's too late, but it is going to be a lot harder than it was 20, 30 years ago. And we do have a long road ahead of us. If we do want to be as good as we want to be, changes need to start happening now, but it's not. So, but it isn't too late. We just need to be patient. So, if things do start changing, we will see an improvement in America and we will be more than all right. But as of now, we're going through the motions and we just need to roll with the punches until we have that breakthrough that we're all going to want. Thank you.